We're not just food and music, poetry has long been a mode of expression for Puerto Ricans, from the jibaros in Puerto Rico's lush mountainsides to the artists and activists of El Barrio and the New Rican Poets Cafe. Boricuas have used the spoken word to articulate the diverse voices of our people and to build a bridge between the island and La Patria Extendida, the diaspora, if you will. Today, we celebrate the rich legacy of Puerto Rican poets, and we celebrate the poetry itself.
Ayer me dijiste negro y hoy te voy a contestar. Mi mai se sienta en la sala. ¿Y la tuya? ¿A dónde está?
Puerto Rico, patria mía, la de blancos almenares, la de los verdes palmares, la de la extensa bahía. Despierta, borinqueño, que han dado la señal. Despierta de ese sueño, que es hora de luchar. Levántate, revuélvete, resiste. Haz como el toro acorralado, muge. O como el toro que no muge, embiste. Gloria a esas manos aborígenes porque trabajaban. Gloria a esas manos negras porque trabajaban. Gloria a esas manos blancas porque trabajaban. De entre esas manos indias, negras, blancas, de entre esas manos nos salió la patria.
La gente se menea con el ritmo sobre el piso que los zapatos limpios limpian según bailan tu música. Barreto, yo he visto un baile entero.
We gave birth to a new generation.
I'm a Rican, broader than lost gold, never touched, hidden inside Puerto Rican mountains.
We gave birth to a new generation, American. It includes everything imaginable. You name it, we got it, society.
And all these voices came from the mountains of Puerto Rico, then crossed the ocean to land in New York City. Juan, Miguel, Milagros, Olga, Manuel. Birthing a culture that lives on today, like at the New Rican Poets Cafe, where you could check out the sabor in every flavor as our godfather, Pedro el Reverendo, gives us blessings and besos. It's a common custom. The bouncer, you could trust him with your life. Tranquilo, it's safe at night. And if you're in the mood to view the city lights of paradise, you don't even have to go to Paris. You can go out on the Rosy Paris Terrace, where tropical sounds can be found. You could sit or just lounge, get boricua down. Mi casa, su casa, que pasa spoken here. Mi raza, su raza, love is in the air. And nothing compares to New Rico. It'll make you fall in love. Bésame mucho and all of the above. You'll be greeted with kisses and hugs. Dancing feet will rip the rug up across the diaspora. La comida, la música y la cultura. Como decía mi abuela, la patria extendida es arroz con habichuela.
Hoy estoy cantando mi canto. Escúchame desde el barrio al campo. Todo me dice, tú hablas con una lengua gringa, gringo, blanquito. Este Spanglish resides in my ego. ¿Recuerdas cuando mis abuelas brought a boogaloo? Boogie down Boricuas, always letting you know how we come through. Porque no me gusta splitting myself in two. I'm New Rican, got them all speaking like we a beacon. Always looking for that remix sound. Spreading salsa and hip hop like a merry-go-round. We wear our complexities on our heart como una medalla. Every day I walk the line in between como una batalla. But who can deny the newness we've created? Made so many waves, even the coquis can taste it. So welcome to New Rico, extra, extra, lea la noticia. Because when two islands meet, todos somos familia.
Now that we've seen her in action, we are thrilled to welcome her here today. Esteemed poet, performer, and activist, Caridad de la Luz, also known affectionately as La Bruja. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
The country was Thank you. Well, the country was really ignited by Amanda Gorman's poetry on Inauguration Day. And Boricuas, it is clear, have been creating poetry for a very long time. How and when did the legacy of Puerto Rican poetry, in your view, begin?
Well, I learned in Puerto Rico in the last 5 months, I did some research that Manuel A. Alonso was the first Puerto Rican poet, and I believe it was in the late 1800s when Puerto Rico was fighting for liberation from Spain, and that's where the poetry began. And what I learned about that poetry was that it was all about revolution, independence, and fighting, for justice for our people.
Well, during the piece, we saw footage of one of the co-founders of the New Rican Poets Cafe. I've been there many times, Miguel Agarin, who sadly passed away just a few months ago. What was the genesis of the New Rican poetry movement?
Well, it began in 1973. It was founded then. The founders, which were mentors to me. I was blessed to have been taken on tour by Pedro Pietri, el Reverendo, and by Miguel Algarin as well, and performing with Tato Laviera. It began in 73 there in the Lower East Side. The New Rican Poets Cafe still stands. It's my home. It's where I began my career. I started on an open mic, and I can still hear their voices, our founding fathers' voices in those walls, and it was very, very special. It still lives. The spirit still lives, and I still host open mics on Thursday night virtually, and it's gone internationally now.
The cafe is such a treasure. We also saw the other co-founder of the cafe, Tato Laviera. How did he, Algarin, and others in that movement use poetry to express Puerto Rican identity and to take on important issues of social justice and equity?
Well, my first exposure to New Rican poetry was Pedro Pietri, el Reverendo, when he did the Spanglish national anthem, and everything was bilingual, equally, fluently. Tato Laviera was a master of both languages. It just spoke of our resilience, of our beauty, something that I've extended into from going from poor to rico, teaching us the richness of our culture, that no matter what our circumstances, we are still worthy, rich, noble, and powerful people. And all of their poetry taught me that, and I continue carrying that torch with much, much honor.
You are a treasure. Thank you, La Bruja, for joining us and enlightening us.
Sunny, you're super sunny. Thank you so much. To my family, I love you. And in Puerto Rico, mi gente, the Poets Passage is my home in Puerto Rico. Lady Lee Andrews and Draco Rosa, los adoro. Thank you.
Yes, un placer. More of our parade broadcast right after this.